welcome back to another video where today we're going to be discussing scopophobia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm really excited to get into this video as it is another video about phobias, but we don't have that much time. It is a bit limited, so let's get right into it. Scopophobia or ophthalmophobia, I definitely hope I pronounced that right, is an anxiety disorder characterized by a morbid fear of being seen or stared at by others. The term scopophobia comes from the Greek word scopeo and phobos. Scopeo meaning to look and phobos means fear. So that is where that word came from. How would you know if you have scopophobia? How do you know if you have scopophobia? The symptoms vary in intensity from one person to another. If you suddenly experience an episode of scopophobia, you may develop any of the symptoms associated with anxiety, including excessive worrying, blushing, racing heartbeats, shaking or sweating, dry mouth, difficulty concentrating, restlessness, or panic attacks. There are many other symptoms, but we're just going to be listing the first 8 today. Individuals with scopophobia generally exhibit symptoms in social situations where attention is brought upon them, like public speaking. Several other triggers exist to cause social anxiety. Well, we've listed some of the stuff that happens to you when you just feel this way, where you just feel anxious or you start to blush. So being introduced to new people, being teased and or criticized, embarrassing easily, and even answering a cell phone call in public. Well, one of my fear is when I have to make a call. Even if I'm the one making a call, I just feel so scared when the person picks up. I feel like I'm going to say something and I'm going to mess up. Now we're going to take a look at the cause. Scopophobia is unique among phobias in that the fear of being looked at is considered both a social phobia and a specific phobia. Because it is a specific occurrence which takes place in a social setting, most phobias typically fall in either one category or the other, but scopophobia can be placed in both. On the other hand, as with most phobias, with scopophobia may often be the subject of public staring, possibly due to a physical disability. Treatments. Now we're going to definitely take a look at that and see if there's anything that can be helped with this. There are several options for treatment of scopophobia, with one option: desensitization. The patient is stared at for a prolonged period and then describe their feeling. The hope is that the individual will either be desensitized to being stared at or will discover the root of their scopophobia. Now, I cannot imagine being stared at for such a long period of time. I don't like it. And for me, when people stare at me, even if they aren't staring at me and I feel like they're looking, I would want to cry, I'd want to scream, I just want to run away. And for almost all of the time, it is crying. I just want to sit there and roll up into a ball and cry. I don't like the idea of people staring at me. It's one of the main reasons why I stay at home and don't go to the shop. And when the raincoat comes home, he's gonna ask, why didn't you go to the shop? And it's so hard for me to explain. It's because I don't like going to the shop when people are out there. Now, usually I'd go to the shop at night, but since the quarantine, the shops would lock at 7, some lock in at 6, some are closed by 8. So that includes all the shop, even the Chinese out on the road, the Chinese restaurant to be exact. So I don't know, I just don't like going out during the day because I feel that there are more people out and about then, and I just can't deal with it. So exposure therapy is another treatment, but that has 5 steps: evaluation, feedback, deploying a fear hierarchy, exposure, building. Okay, this one is a bit complicated and I'm very curious as to why. In the evaluation stage, the scopophobia individual would describe their fear to the therapist and try to find out whether and try to find out when and why the fear developed. The feedback stage is when the therapist offers a way of treating the phobia. A fear hierarchy is then developed where the individual creates a list of scenarios involving their fear, with each one becoming worse and worse. Exposure involves the individual being exposed to the scenario and situation in their fear hierarchy. Building is when the patient, comfortable with one step, moves to the next step. Now, this sounds like it would work, however, it's complicated and it takes time. And I think my fear started around the time I gained weight. I never used to be this heavy, and I gained the weight, and I would like to go down back, and I am trying to exercise to get it down back, but I don't know, I think it's around then, but actually I think way before then I had this like fear of people. Since I was little, I had a fear of adults. So to be honest, I don't know if my fear is of people staring at me or if it's a general fear of people itself. And I think I would definitely need to do some research on that one to know whether I'm afraid of people or I am just afraid of people looking at me. But I would like to find out, or maybe I have both fears, and it's very hard to tell the difference between them, because I do know that when I was little, it was very hard for me to go up and talk to adults. I was afraid of them, and it's not just with adults, it's with other kids my age too, because I was afraid I was going to do something stupid and they were going to see and they were going to laugh at me and make fun of me. I think that's where this little bit of stuttering comes from too. Oh, and one of my fears was reading in front of the class. I never liked reading in front of the class. I never liked answering questions in the class. It didn't matter whether I knew what the answer was or not. I didn't like doing that. And there was this thing in maths class where we'd have to go up and work on the board. I also never liked doing that. So I used to get so scared of it. And it's just something that I am afraid of. I'm not just afraid of people looking at me, I'm afraid of making a mistake and people making fun of me and just laughing. And here I am saying all my fears to a bunch of internet strangers, but I really do hope that this helps people out there with the same fears as me and that you can get help. I can try to maybe get over these fears. I'm not sure if some of them I will ever get over them, and we have more fears that I will be discussing in the future. No, I'm not taking a break tomorrow. There will be another fear out, and I'm trying my best to come out with these videos every day so that I can actually have a schedule. My life is currently a huge big ball of sleep and mess, and I'm trying to pace it back together little by little, and hopefully I will be doing a good job in mending all of my broken schedules. Like, for example, I'm completely sleepy right now, even though I had a good night's rest. Why am I so sleepy? I think maybe it's because I'm accustomed to sleeping during the day, staying up late at night. But I'm trying to break that cycle right now so that I can get into a normal cycle. And when quarantine is over, I think we've been placed back into quarantine. I can't wait for this to be over. I'm not being insensitive or anything. I'm very sorry for the people who've lost family members or loved ones during this time, and that I hope you guys are doing well and that you hold on and just be safe until we can find a way to fight back against this virus. I also hope you guys are following the quarantine rules, wearing your mask, washing your hands, and not coming out the house unless you have to. Well, some of you are going to feel cramped up inside our house. I guess that's why we have YouTube and Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, many other things. Create a YouTube channel, go on Snapchat, do any other thing you can think about. Maybe get into some crafts and arts. You don't just have to look at my video, you can look at anybody's video that's out there and just spend time having fun. Make some board games and sit and play with your family. If you're quarantining alone, well, then you can play some online games and just try to be safe. If you're suffering from any of these phobias, then you can see to do some research yourselves and sit at home and try to maybe find a way to conquer your phobias, find the roots of your phobias, and just work on yourself. Try to be the best version that you can be of yourself. And as we are coming to the end of this video, I hope you guys enjoy this video and find it very helpful and very informative towards you. I hope informative is a word, by the way. Also, if you want more videos, if you want the notification for more videos, please subscribe and turn on notifications. I would just like to say goodbye and stay safe to all of you wonderful people watching today.